Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ and welcome to the new wonderful map of Bitteroot by Matty Ice and his helpers, and this is absolutely fantastic. So North America comes to DayZ with this map. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to install it, get it running on your community server. We're going to look at how to install the mission files. Probably we'll do a couple of little changes to the XML files as well, but it really is absolutely fantastic. This I've only been exploring like the first town, and there's lots of little things that kind of make it feel like the USA. So you know, you've got things like these traffic lights, so you've got some of the vehicles are American, some of the signs on the shops, the petrol stations are a little bit different. Now obviously there's plenty of DayZ Eastern European assets being used because this is DayZ after all, but there's so much stuff that makes it feel very, very unique indeed. So without further ado, because I know you'll want to get on, you know, there's, oh by the way, there's the map, there's that big mountain. You want to get on with this, start playing it yourself and give it to your community members. So let me just jump out of here. So we've got access to the launcher as well. So with most things DayZ PC, things start over on the Steam client. So I'll put a link down in the description below this video to the Bitteroot mod. You can subscribe to it from the web or from the client if you're logged in, and just subscribe to that. Now, before we start, I have to say that you have to remember that Bitteroot and many map mods, they're very large. So Bitteroot is 7.5 gigabytes. So this is a big map and set of PBOs to go with it. What this means is that if you're on a slow internet connection, it can take a while to download it, and it can take a while to upload it, which isn't really a problem the first time you install it. But with something like Bitteroot, where it's going to be getting lots and lots of updates, be prepared to have to update it a lot. So what that means is you'll be spending a lot of time downloading and then more importantly uploading, because most people's upload speeds are lower than their download speed. So just remember that these large maps like Bitteroot and Deer Isle and Alteria, you know, there's a lot of data that goes backwards and forwards. So if you're on a slow internet connection, they can be a bit frustrating. So anyway, so make sure you subscribe. And then if you scroll down, you'll see we've got some important links. So we've got a link to the mission files. Now, when we actually download the mod, you'll see when we go into it that it does have some mission files included. But I recommend that you get your mission files from the GitHub repository, because I'd imagine these will be updated faster and more often than the mission files actually in the mod. And also it's faster to download them. Also, you'll find a few bits of information about the map and the Discord as well. You'll want to go and join the Discord so that when there's changes and when different things are going on, and just to ask questions as well, you'll be able to nip over there. You've got a list of suggested mods that you can add as well. The golf cart, DayZ horse would go good, wouldn't it? Because this is meant to be like Montana, so it is cowboy country, I guess. A lot of thanking that goes along there as well. So what will happen is when you open up your launcher, the mod will automatically get downloaded. Remember, it's going to take a while to get downloaded. And what we'll do now is let's go and have a look at the mod. So we're going to go and have a look at the workshop folder. If you're unsure how to find the workshop folder, if you go next to any mod, click on the little arrow, click on the three dots, and click on Open Folder in Windows Explorer. That will then take you to your workshop folder. Now, often when you first install DayZ, this can be hidden. And the workshop folder, although it's in strict terms, it doesn't contain the mods. It's containing shortcuts to the mods. For all intents and purposes, this is where the mods are. So if we go into the mod, so we have a look, we can see we've got our add-ons. So this is the PBOs. This is kind of the engine behind the mod. We've got our keys, so that's a key we're going to upload to the keys folder on our server, so they all link up. And then we have our missions. So there's a rather handy readme there as well, that tells you about different stuff and gives you some different links. And then we've got empty.bitteroot with everything that's there. Now, Remember as well, as if you're new to this, one thing that can be a little bit confusing is that when we install a new map that has a new set of missions folders, those missions folders won't contain the edits we may have done on a previous map. For example, let's say your server's currently running something like Churnerous, and for Churnerous you've got boosted loot. Well, obviously this won't apply because you've got a new types.xml, new CFG spawnable types. Let's say on your server you have custom spawn loadouts that are in a custom folder and are then referred to in your CFG gameplay.json. Well, they're not going to be there, so you're going to have to install those as well. Let's say you've got custom structures. They will be referred to in your CFG gameplay.json. Again, this is a new CFG gameplay.json, so you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to change things there. So always bear that in mind. With a new map, with a new set of mission files, we've now got to do our new changes to stuff like that. Now, to get the mission files from the GitHub, what you want to do is go to the GitHub and click on the green box and just click on download zip and download them all to your local computer. And then what you probably want to do is copy them to a file, so a folder. So for example, on my computer I have a folder called DayZ modding, and then in that folder I have anything to do with DayZ modding. So I've got a Bitteroot folder here, like there's an ulterior one, there's my Bitteroot one, and then I generally put a date in, so 0824, and then this is where the downloaded file is. So Bitteroot DayZ main, extract here, and that gives me the mission files. That way, as there's updates, I can have a separate folder within a folder for those, and if I need to roll back or anything like that, I've got copies here. Or simply if I make a mistake or something like that, I can put that there. So we kind of got those ready to go. And the next thing we really want to start doing is actually physically uploading the mod as well. A best practice is to go over to your server, and I'm using a Nitrado server as the example here. And you'll want to go into the dashboard and you just want to stop the server. So it's always good to do that, because especially if you want to make changes to things like your server dz.config, we really need to be stopped. And it's just like a best practice to do. So just stop your server, and then you want to fire up your FTP program. I've done videos previously about how to work FTP programs. And what we're going to do now is we're going to upload the mod. So you'll kind of go to File, Site Manager, you'll choose your site to connect to. I'm already connected to it. And that will then load up. And as you can see here, this is my server here. Now, we need to get to the workshop folder in order to upload the mod. So again, if you're not quite sure where that is, again, just press on the little arrow next to any mod, click on the three dots, open folder in Windows Explorer. That will then take you there. And if you left click up here at the top, that gives you the address of where the workshop folder is on your computer. You can right click that and just say copy. You can go back to your FTP program and then left click here at the top and then right click paste, press enter, and that will jump you to where your workshop folder is on your local computer. And then all we need to do now is just scroll down. Let me just close that, and there's Bitteroot. So we can right click that and make sure that DayZ standalone is left clicked there. Right click that and click on upload, and then it will start the process. I'm not going to do it now because it's big and I don't have a very good internet connection, so it would take several minutes to do. So if, like me, you're on that sort of connection, or even if you're on a fast connection, it's going to take a couple of minutes to work, because it's several gigabytes. So you go off and have a cup of coffee. Now when you come back, or you hear your FTP program making a bleep saying they've all been uploaded, we can now get on to the next section. So we just want to open up this folder here, and what we're interested in now is the keys folder. So if we left click on the keys folder there, and we scroll down and we left click on the keys folder in our server, we have all our keys. So then you right click on there and say upload, and that goes over to here. Keys are really easy to forget about when you're installing a mod, because often you get really excited about installing this big map mod in this case, or maybe it's a weapon mod or something like that. And when you try and log on, and you or your people on your server, they'll normally have an error, something like the client has a mod that isn't on the server. Generally, that's because you've forgotten to upload the keys. Sometimes as well as you'll find that if you have several mods by the same modder or modding team on your server, when you go to upload the key, it will say overwrite. And that's because modders will often use the same key for different mods. So don't worry about that. Let it override it. It's gonna work. That's gonna be fine. So now we've got the mod uploaded to our server. What we want to do next is we want to make sure that the server starts with that particular mod. So we go back to our dashboard. Now on Nitrado, you go to the settings section and you scroll down and you'll come across an additional mods. If you're running a standalone box, or you're doing this on a local server or with other server providers, you may well have access to the .bat or the batch file or the Windows batch file that starts your server. If you do, that this will be in the start line, and it will say start DayZ server.exe, some things, and it will have mods, and then you'll have your different mods in there. And what we need to do is, as you can see on this server, I've already got CF and Zomri admin tools installed, and I just need to add Bitteroot. So what you do is you have a semicolon, so the dot with the comma underneath it, and then at Bitteroot. If you're not sure about your spelling, as I tend not to be, go back to your workshop folder, just left click on Bitteroot, and then right click, copy the name, go back to here and just paste it in. That way it's impossible to get it wrong. And then you click on save changes, and that'll mean that when the server starts, in the Windows batch file, in the start line, in the mods bit of that, it will say, right, okay, I need to start the Bitteroot mod, and that will start that. So next things, what we really want to do is we want to add the mission files. So what we can do now is, if we go to where we downloaded the mission files, which are here, like this, if we left click up here, so we get the address of where they are on our computer, we can right click that and we can copy that. We can go back to FTP program and we can left click up here, right click paste, press enter, and that takes us to our folder where we've got empty.bitteroot, which is the mission files. Now we need to find where they are on our local server. So if you scroll down, you'll see another folder that says MP missions, and it's a bit of a giveaway, because in the MP missions folder you'll see we've got DayZ offline.churnerus, and you'll probably have DayZ offline.enoch, and as you can see on this server I've been installing different maps as well. So we've got empty.alteria, offline.takistan plus, and empty.bitteroot. So there we go. So that's so yours won't have the empty.bitteroot bit. So make sure you left clicked on MP missions, and then over here you can see it might say that you expand this, and there we have empty.bitteroot. So we can just right click that, and we can left click upload, and that will then upload to here. So then let's just close that. So then in your missions folder you'll have Churnerus plus, Enoch, Alteria, and Bitteroot. Now your server needs to know to start with this particular mission. So this is where we've got to go to our server.dz.config file and change that. Now on Nitrado you go to the advanced settings. So in general, make sure advanced setting is ticked. Expert settings. You click on expert settings. If you're running a standalone box, or if you're running this on a local server, or you have access to it anyway, the file is the server.dz.config file, and you scroll down and you'll find a bit that says template, and it might say template equals DayZ offline.churnerus plus at the moment, and we need to change that to empty.bitteroot. Again, if you're not quite sure about your spelling, just go to where you've downloaded the mission files, so they're here, and then just left click on the name, left click it again, right click to copy the name, go back to the server.dz.config or the expert settings, and just paste it into there in between the quotation marks, and then you would then save that. On Nitrado you can only save this file if the server is stopped, so that's why we say to stop the server. One thing I like to do is, as I'm going along and I'm adding different maps to a server, I'll put a couple of forward slashes there. That's like remark. So it means that the server.dz file, the server doesn't read these, and then I'll just make sure that I have like the names of the mission files there. That way when I want to chop and change to different mission files, I've just got them all here ready to copy and paste back into the server.dz.config template. So we would save that, and then the server knows, right, okay, so I need to start with the Bitteroot mod, and I need to start with the empty.bitteroot mission. What we're going to do now is, though, there are a couple of things that you probably want to edit just to make your life easier when you spawn in and when you're doing your initial testing. So what I would say is, within the empty.bitteroot mission file, go to the DB folder. In fact, if we open up this way, go to DB, and then right-click on Globals and click on View and Edit. And what this will do, this will open up that file. It will open up this file in your local text editor. It might ask you a question, say, what should I open this up? If you've got Notepad++, open it up in Notepad++. If you've got it in, if you've only got a text editor, Notepad, open it up in Notepad, that sort of stuff. And then what I would suggest you do is go down to variable name time login and variable time logout and change them both to 5 seconds. It just makes it much more convenient when you're doing these initial tests, when you're going to be jumping on your server, just testing things like the zombies are spawning in, testing things like loot spawning in. You know, you don't have to wait 15 seconds every time you do so. I think it's a nice quality of life thing as well. So that's good. And then what you do is, you say I'd made a change, then I would hit save. And then when you go back to your FTP program, you say, look, something's changed. Do you want me to change that? And you say yes. Then what I would say is click on empty.bitteroot as well, and then go to your CFG gameplay.json, right click that, view edit that. And what I would do is, if you've got a spawn gear preset file with custom loadouts, this is the time you would add that in as well. Remembering that you're going to have to copy your custom folder to inside the Bitteroot mission folder and those custom files as well. But if you're not going to do any of that, the minimum thing I would say is go down to the bottom, and where it says map data and you've got map ownership, and it will probably say false, 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 change them all to true. So that, again, it's a new map, you won't really know where anything is. So when you spawn in, or when your players spawn in, at least they can press M and they can have a look, and they can start exploring, and they can start enjoying the map. And again, you would hit save, and when you go back to your FTP program, it would say there's been a change, what do you want me to do? And then you would click on upload the file, and that would upload that there. So there we go. So we've uploaded the mod, we've added the key, we've uploaded the mission file, we've told the server to start with the mod, and we've told the server to start with that particular mission. All we really need to do now is just go back to the server, start the server, if it was stopped, which it should be, and then restart the server, and then spawn in, and you should find yourself on Bitteroot with a ticket to explore this amazing new map. Now, as you are doing that sort of thing, and your players are doing that, encourage people, if they find things that are, bugs or errors or anything like that that are related to the map, then go over to the Discord and make sure you report them as well, so that Matty can start working on them. And as a server owner, just be prepared. There's probably going to be lots and lots of updates to the mission files and to the mod itself. So there's a lot of downloading, uploading. But from what I've seen already, it's a fantastic piece of work, very exciting, and it's just great that we've got another one of these maps added to the PC modding community. Hey, Bohemia Interactive, please come up with a way of enabling us to add these maps to console, because that would be brilliant indeed. What do you think, though? Put your questions and comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, I'll see you again soon.